Dave here. How are you? Today is the 7th of June 2020. 7 days into winter, and boy, aren't we feeling it at the moment. Now, it's not Alaskan weather or South Pole, but it is pretty cool. We've had a pretty bit of a, not a pretty bit, we've had a fair bit of Arctic weather or Antarctic weather blowing up the coast and over Australia, even in Queensland. Today on the show, well, first of all, I hope everyone is well and that the stream is coming through okay. If someone would like to let me know, it's saying it's looking good. Everything looks like it's going well there because people are making comment. There you go. Bob, how are you? Good morning from Shell Harbour. Brian. On the show today, new project to start today, a mobile machine cart. So you might notice that I've got this guy standing beside me here. It is a thicknesser. Of course it is. Over the back there, I've got my drum sander, and I want to make a cabinet that's exactly the same height as this. Because, as I said last week, the outfeed from, when I turn this around, the outfeed is around a couple of millimeters higher than my assembly table, which my bench is sitting on at the moment. All good, everything. Excellent, thank you very much. So, Fred and Bob have made comment, and good on them, because the viewers' projects today are Bob Lewin and Fred Peterson. Now, Bob has been in lockdown like a lot of us have, and he's made some interesting things. A little bit of a, what is a dovetail clamp system that Microjig put out, I think. The same company that makes the grippers. And so he's done this little project, and Fred has sent me in some really, really nice photos of the plane that he's doing a replica of my plane. And as I said before, I'm very, very humbled by that happening. So thank you very much, Fred. We'll throw those pictures up very soon. And I'm going to also give you a quick revision on the Timber Tools and Artisans show. Let me see. The first one's going to be at Sydney, which is the 18th, 19th and 20th of September at Rose Hill at the racecourse. Melbourne will be the next one, 16, 17 and 18 of October. Probably in the same spot that it was last year. Canberra is in the same spot as it was last year at the racetrack. 2 days only this time, 13th and 14th of November. Brisbane a couple of weeks after that, 2 days as well at the showground, 27th and 28th of November. They're the proposed dates. Of course, we wait until we get confirmation. We should be good though. It's looking pretty good in Australia. Now, what do you want? What I'm going to do is I'll show you some pictures first off. So we'll look at Bob's project, and he's given me a little bit of a spiel here. He says, "Hi Dave, it's another nice day in New Jersey." Let's see if I can find him down here. There we go. And I've just finished a tabletop workbench top that I needed so I could properly use the 4 Microjig match fit clamps that I've got. It's the same company that makes the gripper. I have a regular woodworking bench, of course, as well as the portable Craig bench that this bench top is sitting on in the picture. You can see the Craig project bench underneath there. But with the virus still keeping us mostly indoors, it seemed like something positive to do. The bench top is 36 by 24 inch by 3/4 inch melamine. And there's another shot of it. The slots were hand routed with a 1/2 inch by 14 degree dovetail router bit set for 3/8 cutting depth with the DeWalt plunge router. And because my drill press is out of commission, the dog holes were drilled with a 3/4 inch Forstner bit in my Milwaukee M12. Let's go to another picture. And what have we got next? Here in the States, we tend to use 3/4 inch bench dogs rather than a 20 mil. The rest of the world uses. Using Autodesk 123 design program, I designed and printed, 3D printed 8 black bench dogs. I also modified the file and added a 20 mil dog as well, and uploaded and published them to Thingiverse and myminifactory.com so others can print them as well. Although the bench top is complete and perfectly usable as is, I may strengthen it by gluing a 36 by 24 by 1/2 inch plywood to the underside. Dave, it's been an interesting project to pass the time. Take care, wash your hands and wear a mask. Well, thanks for that, Bob. That's excellent. So if you've got things like, here I'm doing the glasses swap. If you've got projects like that, doesn't matter how simple they are. It can be as simple as the one that Bob sent in or as complex as the one that Fred has done. We'll do it very soon. Send them in to me, davestantonfans@gmail.com, and there's links in the description box down the bottom. Let me have a read down the side. Russell, morning Dave and others, video and audio is good. Peter Woolworth, hi everybody, been blowing a gale for the last 2 days in my neck of the woods. Dave, sound and vision is good. Fred, sound is good. Richard, hello from Richmond. Stephen, Vancouver, USA, rainy, windy, spring does not want to let go to summer. Alan Atkins, look at I like woodworking on YouTube, simple tools are amazing builds. Well, good on you. John Parra, looks good, Bob. Kiwi looks like NZ is past wearing a mask. Okay, what do we got next? The run sheet, and let's hook in. So what I'm going to do is I had the camera set up above me. I had another camera set up over there. And with this new camera, it just works so much better. I'm going to do everything on here, except when I actually do the cutting over there. So I did promise to do the layout and everything without using a computer. And let's see how we go. I've got a piece of melamine that I'm going to throw up on the bench. The reason being, my pencil and pen don't fall down into the dog holes while I'm working. So there we go. Bit of melamine, good old melamine. So this is very similar to if you're going to make a kitchen cabinet. You can do it the same way. Now, this unit here, I'll push it back a little bit so you can see it a bit better, possibly. Yeah, not really. If I do this, you may see it a little bit better. I'm going to drag this along. There, you can see it down the side. This is basically a kitchen cabinet. That's all it is. It's 550 deep by 600 wide. Standard metric units. If you can do it that way, it works well. Morning, Dave. How are you? You need some magnetic dog hole plugs. Actually, best to have non-magnetic ones and have a ball bearing in them instead. This is John's idea. Oh, thanks, Matt. Feel free to jump in like Matt if you want to. Okay, so John decided that because with the magnets in the little plugs that go in here, I'll see if I've got any in the cupboard here so you can have a quick look at what we're talking about. None in that drawer. There we go. These things. So these things here have got a little magnet, rare earth magnet in there. Now John's idea was possibly put a ball bearing in there and just use a magnet on top to pull them out, because the problem I had, and John had, when I put my hand plane down on the bench, on its side or wherever, pick it up, all of these things were stuck to them, popped out. There's a little tip. Why not? I do that, no extra fee. All right, so kitchen cabinet, standard with 600 wide, you know, they do them 600s, 900s, whatever you want, 450s, and then the depth is normally pretty standard as well. So you'd have a 620 millimeter deep bench top, sits on a unit underneath, which has got enough room for a door to close and still have an overhang on the bench top in front of you. And a kickboard underneath, obviously, that the units sit on. The kickboard is so that you can stand in close, your toes go under the cupboard a little bit so you can get in closer to the surface to work on it. It's pretty easy. Mine stuck to my router plane too. There you go. All right, now, this has casters underneath and also a bit of 4x2. Now, I'm showing my age here. You guys in the States call it 2x4. In Australia now, we call it, it'd be 100 by 50 basically, or 102, whatever, by 51. Now we're doing machined, which is 90 by 45. Just to make it interesting. So I'm going to put a little bit of 90 by 45 underneath, and what that does is gives me a lot of meat for me to put big screws in to hold the casters so that it can roll around, because I would love to be able to keep these things mobile. How good is that? You know, why? And the front casters, as I did last week, they've got locks, the back wheels are directional. That's all that happens. So I'm going to, instead of like this one, I enclosed the back inside. This time, I'm going to have the back with edge tape down both sides and screw it from the inside with pocket hole screws. I may use dominoes as well. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. but it's a better finish. It just works a little bit better, and it's easier to do because if you're a little bit out, it's not going to be the end of the world. If you're a little bit out putting it inside the back, well then you're either going to get a bit of a gap or it's going to start pushing the unit apart. So bring this back. I love this bench. Here we are. Just roughly, let's do a little bit of a drawing. I'm going to do a picture of the front of the unit. So as we're looking at it, I've just put everything in front so you can't see. Looking at the front of the unit. All right. So it's going to have this, this, this. There's my basic square to start. Underneath, it's going to have the piece of timber that's going to be stiffening it. And then it's going to have wheels under there. So that's what we've got so far. You know, I'm not a Michelangelo, but it doesn't matter. Now at this stage, I'm also going to put a top on it which is 32 millimeters thick. It's this benchtop, kitchen benchtop material that I use. So I'm going to draw that hanging out over the edge. Okay, there we go. Looks pretty simple. Anyone can do this. You know, it's easy. Now here's the interesting part. I'll move this back over here a bit further again. When you're looking at the side of a cabinet, here, I don't like to see the edge of the piece underneath. And I like to have continual support all the way down from under there down to on top of that piece of timber. So I want my panels on the ends, we used to call them gables. Okay, Stephen, how are you? So I like to have those panels going all the way down and the piece at the top and the piece at the bottom of the cabinet inside. So this is why I draw it this way. So I'm going to draw a line from there up to there and from there up to there. Then you can see we've got the continuation going all the way up. And then it's pretty easy, across there and across there. That's my top and the bottom of my cabinet. So right on the top is the actual bench top, not part of the cabinet, and right at the bottom is the 4x2 or 90 by 45. That's the stiffening piece for the casters to go in and gives the thing good control, or good support, I should say. Now the next thing to do is, if I was working to a certain height, I'd know that I've got my kickboard. Most kickboards are around about 6 inches deep, you know, about 150 millimeters, or they can vary, but you know, I find 6 inches is pretty easy. And a lot of times in the kitchens you'll have those screw-in legs that can adjust up and down, or a solid plinth that you sit the cabinets on. Remember, that plinth sits back just a little bit. So what I want to do is I'm going to cheat because I've already built this one, so I'm going to take the measurements off it. But I'll grab a wheel, and I just want to show you that. Give me a sec. I should have grabbed this earlier. I really should have, but anyway. Back again. So the wheel, there we go. I need the distance from the base plate to the apex or the top of the wheel. And then I need the thickness of the 90 by 45, but I can machine that to adjust it to get it perfect. And then I need the thickness of the top. And that leaves me the thickness of the counter, of the cabinet. So I'll just do a little drawing here. From there to there. Okay, so X is what we are after now. This other unit, from there, the other line is overall. Okay, so there are things you've got to take into consideration. I know this is basic, but you know, sometimes we make the silliest mistakes and you think, oh, so this is dead easy. All right, what you can do, see if I can use it for a flip top for 2 machines, Philadelphia. No, you won't be able to use it for a flip top because the top of mine has got a cabinet, the cabinet's all the way through it. What you could do, you could do this but not put the top on it and have a solid back in it, and then put a stiffeners down either side at the top of the cabinet, possibly on the outside, and then put a steel pipe right through the center that is your pivot point, lock on with saddles, some really strong saddles, or make a 3 by 2 inch frame all the way around with the 3/4 inch pipe going right through the frame, and that would work, and that's your pivot. I'm just thinking on the fly as to how I would do that kind of thing. So that could work, but it's not going to be this particular design. This design is for a machine on top and drawers underneath for all of the accessories that relate to that machine. So sandpaper, that the sander is going to have sandpaper, spare sandpaper is going to have the belt cleaning stick, all that kind of stuff. Les Wheeler got here a bit late, never mind, off to the corner and sit there with all the other late people. Give me a second, I'll grab my drink. We've done 15 minutes and haven't done anything. Yes, I have my dust extraction system running across the top here. I wheel the machine to wherever I need it, plug the dust extraction and power, and then away it goes. Solid back wouldn't work, as you need to change the top tool to the bottom tool. It might work if you're deep enough and you bring your pivot point closer to the front rather than being center. See, this is a whole lot of stuff that you have to take into mind. Justin made it, hope all is well. A little hungover, Justin. Long weekend in Australia. Queen's birthday weekend. Now, where are we up to? I've been waylaid by people wanting to do flip over carts. It's maybe something I might... Look, there's lots of people on the internet have done plenty of flip over carts. Heaps. All right. Now, the next thing I want to do is I want to have a look from the side. So I'm just going to do a quick drawing from the side. And as I say, it really doesn't take long. There, that's it. See that? So this is the back. This is the side panel here, the actual top. The dotted lines are in behind, dotted line down there, and the bit of timber across the bottom. Easy. Okay, so Woodsmith magazine for flip tops as well. Why is the overall height critical on a roll-around cabinet if it's not needed as an outfeed table for the bench? Look, it's one of those things, Bob. If you try and keep things uniform, well then, if you have something else that you could utilize that cabinet for, you might want the two of them side by side. And so it's nice to keep everything kind of a regular size. But if you're doing a kitchen, and this could be easily used for a kitchen as well, if you wanted to do it this way. So, apron panel at the back. Yep. Yes, so it doesn't come all the way up. Cool. Guys, overall height important for compatibility. Correct. Chris, morning or just planning one of these myself, so very interesting, especially seeing how Dave sets out his plans. It's not hard. I just do a front elevation and a side elevation. I don't really need to do a plan. Next thing we're going to do is just work out the dimensions. So it's very easy because I can measure off this one. But I'm pretty sure that it's going to be 600 overall is the width. So I'm going to write down here 600 from there to there. The total depth, I'll do the inside, is 550. I'm going to go a little bit deeper than 550 because, and this is something that you might want to consider, I'm going to use soft close slides, and they're 550 overall. So we don't want them hitting up hard against the back. They might foul on something. Just make it a little bit longer. So instead of 550, I'm going to make it 555, I think. Yeah, I think I'll go 555 in depth. So from there to there is 555, and the back is 16. Okay, so that's pretty easy. 555 is the depth internally. Remember, there's nothing on the front. There's only a back in it. The back is 16 millimeters melamine, which is close enough to 5/8 of an inch for you guys in the States. And the overall height, and sorry, what else have we got there? The width there is 600. So now we work out how many units we want of each. And I'm going to do what's called a quick cutting list down the side here. Just another little area here. Derek Steph, the super chat and stickers where you make, oh right, okay. Overall height important compatibility, right, okay, so now we're going to work out, we're going to write in the first column, item, W, width, length. It's just a simple grid. Okay. Now, Dave, tech drawing teacher would be interested in your drawing. Oh, this is high quality. Okay, so the items we're going to put in gables to start. Gables, of course, they're both going to be the same. And we want 2 times. I should have put number there as well. And then we're going to have top, bottom, and rear. There you go. Pretty easy so far. All good. Everyone's sticking with me. Okay, so the gables, the width, we've got to look at our plan here. The width is going to be 555. Remember, I'm going to have the back go onto the back of the unit, not inside it. That's the only one that's going to be showing the side. That's how I've done all the others, and it works. So the gables are going to be 555. And the height, I think it's going to be much the same on this. It's almost a square. 565. It's dangerous is what it is. Those dimensions are very close to each other. So tall. Yeah, look, I'll know what that means. Okay, very easy, very, very easy. Okay, so the top, we've got to work with these dimensions. So it's 565 high, and they're the full height. They go all the way down from underneath the bench top down to the piece of timber that's going to be on. That's going to sit on top of the timber. That's got the casters mounted to it. Right, top is going to be 600. No, sorry. Yeah, 600 minus 32 because 2 times 16. Post that page when you get done so anyone can copy your roller cut. Not a problem at all. What is the in-feed, out-feed working height of the tool you're building it for? Cabinet might be different. It's this unit right here. This bench top. This one, before I started, no, I'll show you. I'll show you. See that? Things come out of here. This is what I'm trying to get to. My drum sander is the same. So I can set things up, I can feed in from one side and it tails out the other side so I don't have to have someone else here helping me. That's the whole thing. I try and set this up, this workshop, so it's a one-man show. Then I'm not bugging people to help me out. All right. Now, as far as the depth of the cabinet's concerned, I'm not going to subtract the 1 millimeter for the edge tape. So I'm going to use iron-on edge tape on this. So I'm not going to take, like I've got on this, I'm not going to remove that 1 millimeter because it's going to be constant all the way around. So there's no need to change that depth. All right, so I have the gables. The top and the bottom are going to be exactly the same. Remember, it was 600 wide minus 32, which in my book is 568, I think. So it'd be 568. Across, and the depth, so 568. I'm going to call this depth. That might be better. Ah, Peter, thank you. Ah. All right, so the top is going to be the same. The depth is exactly the same, 555. The bottom is 555. And that one's 568. There you go. See that? Now that's going to make sense. I'm going to come around this side so you can see it a bit better. What I decided to do was, instead of call it the width, I've called it the depth. So this is from here to there, how deep the cabinet is this way, putting your hand in or the drawer going in, the depth of the unit. So it's 555, so that's what we've got. This allows an extra 5 millimeters at the back here for a little bit of clearance for these guys, because they're 550 neat. Okay, now the 568 is this distance internally here, because 600 minus 32, this is 16, this is 16, so 600 minus 32, someone check my thumbs, I think is 568, so 2 and 8 is 10, carry the 1, 3, 4, yes, 600 will give me this distance from there to there overall. It's really, really simple. Okay. Next thing we've got to do is, we're going to do the rear, but I'm going to forget about that at the moment. Next thing we're going to do is do a layout. Now this isn't too hard. I think I'll get it out of 1/2 of that sheet over there. Let's have a look. And then, as I always do, I get some masking tape and I write down the size of each part and what it is. The height of the casters in the calculation. Yes, they are. They are. So I've got the same size casters there, and I'm just taking the dimensions off. Now remember, these ones are from Carbotech, and the other ones, which are the directional wheels, I get from Bunnings. And they're a smaller diameter caster here, the ones from Bunnings, but the overall height is the same. As I've said before, I think that's 131. Let's have a look. 130, no, it's 133. 133, 134. Close enough. Stephen, I'm getting, I might take Vicky out to lunch. All right, what have we got? So that's, everyone's easy with that, aren't they? I'll take some photos and pop it up later. Okay, now, what I'm going to do is I've turned the sheet sideways because that's how I've got that sheet laid out on the bench there. And I'm going to do a line like that. Okay, so there we go. That's my sheet. And I need 555 as a constant. So there's going to be 4 pieces that are 555 wide. So I will make this 555 this direction. And then we need 4. So it's basically, 4 times 5.5. 4 5s is 20. And so it's 2.2 meters, a little bit more. So there's only going to be about this much left at the end of the sheet. So I'm just going to break the sheet up like that. There you go. There's my sheet workings. This other part up here that I'm going to leave over, I'm going to make a mobile stand for the lathe. It's probably just off camera there. But I want to make one that's 1200 long, like I made for the CNC controlling cabinet. I've got everything relating to the CNC in that. So I'm going to have, mine's just a small lathe. I'm going to have it on the left-hand side, and I'm going to put the Sorby Pro Edge on the right-hand side, 2 banks of drawers underneath, and all the gear that goes with the Sorby, the belts and all the attachments will live on one side, and on the left-hand side will be all my micro mesh, all my different chucks and jaws, all that kind of stuff for the lathe. Because you know why? It's ticking me off. I've got junk gathering up all over the place there, and it's just so much easier. And also, if I have it at this height, the swing over bed, the total height of my lathe, we're getting away from the subject a little bit, but to the center of the chuck is 330 millimeters off the deck, and that would be there. So if that's the center of my chuck, that's not a bad height. So it's just above my navel. Is there an optimum height that you should have your chuck for turning items? If it's about in line with my navel, which when I suck it in, it's normally the same size. It's the same height from the floor. I think that's a comfortable height. You know, elbow lines up pretty much with your navel. Have you found that? Body's a pretty amazing thing. Okay, so 555, and we're going to write down here 565, 565, 568, and 568. And I'm going to write on there top, base, gable. I just call the sides gables. It's left over from building. There we go. That's my layout. Now we're going to do it. So I'll move this guy out of the way. And the great thing about having things on wheels is I can just bring them over. Bring it over close up. Okay, about there. And I'm going to come around here. And how about we have a look at Fred's hand plane? Mouse. It's really nice. This is just beautiful. The center line for my lathe is elbow height. Thanks, Russell. That's all I was needing. That's all I wanted to know. Now I've got to get Fred's little note that he sent to me. Dave, I hope these pics show my build in the correct light to highlight it best. Remember I was giving him a hard time last week about, I think he had his bank account number on a piece of paper that he took the photo on. I thought, I'm not going to show everyone that one. So here we go. This is Fred's plane. How nice is that? Give him a round of applause, guys. This is just beautiful. I have enjoyed the build so far. I've never used a plane in my woodwork before, nor have I ever used exotic woods in a project, but I wanted to build something I could pass it on to my heirs to remind them of what I enjoyed immensely in my life. That is beautiful, Fred. This is the side and underneath. It's purple heart on the sides. I have ordered more wood for the fence portion of the build to complete the project. Thank you for your inspiration and allowing me to attempt to replicate your build. Let's go to the next picture. What do you think? What do you think? That is just absolutely gorgeous. Ah, thanks, Matt. I will have the dinner. Well, I'll put a little nameplate in the middle so you can join. You can join us. Okay, hope this meets expectations. I'll keep you informed as I progress to completion. I'm chuffed. That's just so nice. And it's really, as I say, it's just, I get lost for words because I'm really tickled that someone thinks so much about my plane that they would make the effort to make it one just like the one that I made. And all I did was just throw up some dimensions on one of the live streams, and there you go. Fred grabbed the dimensions and went with it. How nice! Do it, do it. That's the Veritas kit. You can get it from Lee Valley, I think. I think I've also left links. If you go over to my other channel, so in the description box below, you'll see there's links to my second channel, and that's where I store all of these videos. So I leave them up on this main channel for a week. And at the first day while we're streaming, there's no ads. Well, there shouldn't be. Maybe something in the column, but nothing over it. And then after that, after the show's finished being live, it'll get monetized. It stays there for a week, and then I take it down and put it over on the second channel. It's not monetized over there. So you can go and check all of the previous shows, and I've archived them. Be a little hashtag archived and the date that the show actually streamed. And the picture will relate pretty much to what's on it, and there's little descriptions as well. So you can go back through them. There's a library there if you want them. I've been doing it, well, I haven't been storing them for 6 or 7. I've been doing the stream for 6 years. Can you believe it? I've saved you a fortune, have I, Matt? Thank you very much. Thank you. Here we go. Now, what's next? What's next? What's next? I might send you out a patron's mug, Matt. How's that grab you? All right, let's go back over here now. I think I've got clear vision to everything that's going to happen over here. Before I do, I'm going to show you what I'm going to use on the job. And this is why I put at the beginning of the video, sponsorship, whatever, in the thing, because TSO, I approached them about using their stuff because I absolutely love it. It's magic. And they've made me an affiliate. So if you use the link in the description box below, that's my product declaration that I am an affiliate with them. I love their gear. I don't know if you can get it in Australia directly from TSO. I know that Carbotech won't be stocking it anymore because it's just unbelievable cost bringing it over. I think that's the reason, but they're clearing their stock, so check with them first. They might have some stuff. The other thing I like about TSO is they make these dogs, which are not a super tight fit. The reason I make comment about that is because with these benches, they're a fibrous material, like timber is a fibrous, it expands and contracts. They go in beautifully. If it's a humid day, they'll go in lovely. If it's humid and you use the standard tight dogs or the path system dogs, you'll have a hard time getting them in. So I have both. I've got these and I've got their tight dogs. Works beautifully. John's plastic dogs also work very well, and sometimes they're a bit tight going into this, depending on the moisture content. But as I say, they're the only ones that have made 2-dimension dogs, and I love it. They're really, really nice. Okay, let's get started. So this is a track parallel guide adapter. Now you might be familiar with their GRS16, which is a square thing, which runs off the side, and that ordinarily that's pretty good. I don't like using the edge of a sheet from the store because it's been damaged, it's chipped, it's a mess. So I always cut 5mm into the sheet more than my measurement. See, this measurement here is 555 wide. I'll come in 560, do my cut, spin the sheet around 180 degrees, and then I'll drop the guides down to being exact 555 and rip again. The reason I leave 5mm more is when you're cutting with a circular saw, if the blade is enclosed in the cut, so say I'm not shaving the edge off, but I'm actually in the timber cutting, the dust extraction works so much better. And, you know, that's nice. All right. 20 minutes to go. I think we'll get all this cut, but I just wanted to show you how this goes to start. So this guy, see on the end of this parallel guide, this is a 30-inch guide. So I can cut up to 31 inches or basically 780mm. So for kitchen work, this would probably do you. There's 3 different sizes. I've told you enough. Okay. All we do is drop that on. There's these little guys here. So if you're not wanting to buy the GRS16 for whatever use, and for whatever reason, you only want to use this, you can use these for parallel work. So a lot of people will get the GRS16 for one end, because this will bolt onto the GRS16 as well, and then have the left-hand end, which goes on the left-hand side, of course, on the other end on one of these. Now this is the left hand, and this is the cursor, and it's got no parallax error. which is fantastic. So this is spring loaded, as I have mentioned the other week. There it is. So here's my cursor here. You can see very little, well, there's no parallax error. And this is the actual bumper, that's adjustable as well. So I'm going to set this to 555. And you might turn around and say, well, Dave, you just said you're going to go 560. I'm going to go 560. Look at that. That's 555. Now I'm going to flip the cursor up out of the way, and I'm going to come in. Just judge it by eye, 550. So I'll show you over here. Come around the back. This locks onto, this is a little bit distant, but the camera should be okay. This locks onto here, slider on. Can you see from there? The guys at TSO will also give you this little guy. It's basically a hexagonal screwdriver. If I've got this bumper down and this bumper down, I can push my track. I've got a 2.7 here up against the job. Now I'm 555 from this edge, but I don't want that edge. So I'm going to lift this bumper up and this one up. And I'm going to advance it by around 5 millimeters. And the same at this end. That's pretty good. So they're just sitting on top of the melamine now. They're not in the edge. And this will stay in position because of the guide, the grip tape underneath. I'm going to use the track saw using with a couple of batteries, and one of them is Bluetooth. And I'm going to turn the dust extractor on to auto and push the button down until it starts spinning fast. There she goes. And on this one, I'm going to push this button until it goes blue. There it goes. Now, hear that? It's connected. Now, one of the other things I'm going to do is I'm going to do a scribing cut. My first cut, I do around about 1 millimeter, maybe 2 millimeters deep. So on the front here, where it says FS, which stands for Fuorincini, I'm going to take that back to 2 millimeters. So when it comes out on the track, it's going to be 2 millimeters down. So flip this up. And I also use my 36 millimeter hose when I'm using the track saw because it just pulls more volume. I should get a new nozzle for the end. There we go. It pulls more volume than the 27 millimeter hose. I use the 27 millimeter hose when I'm sanding things. I'm going to lock the wheels so it doesn't start rolling around on me while I'm doing this because that's embarrassing. Now underneath this board, I've got an old hollow core door sitting on my bench. So I'm not going to go cutting into my really nice table there. Now, as I said, I'm going to start from the end and work backwards. But remember, I'm only doing a 2 millimeter deep cut, so I can control that. Okay, I've done my cut, and that's a perfect score. Now you may have seen there's a bit of dust coming up there because I forgot to push that guy down. That little that green cover is what stops the dust flying out that side as well. So now, quickly and easily, I'm going to drop the saw down to, I'll probably go 19 millimeters. This is a 16 millimeter board. 3 millimeters through the cut is fine. Now don't try that scribing cut in reverse if you don't have good adjustment on a saw, because if you're going backwards, the saw can pick up momentum and take off, and it can be dangerous. So again, keep your wits about you. If you want to do it this way, That's the absolute cleanest. You will still get a very good result going in the correct direction. But it's like comparing climb cut to conventional cut with a router. There's one way you go with a router. The other direction can be dangerous, but unless you've got a machine doing it, like my CNC, it doesn't really worry it too much. I'll come from this side again, take it back to about there. I'm just making sure my guides are still on the track. They are, and down we go. Beautiful. There we go. Now, I nearly lost the back sheet. The reason being, the door wasn't covering as far as I thought it was. But that's okay. I can drop it there because I've got the floor, the specialized floor. That is magic. What a great cut. No tear out, chipping whatsoever. All right, so now I take it off, throw it up there. I'm not using a table saw. I could set something up in my shed or a garage like this table, and I'm getting everything done easily. The other thing you can do, if you've got a table set up like this, you can put a couple of rails coming back this way, clamped onto the legs, so that when you take the track off, you've got somewhere to put it. It could sit on something down there. I'm just going to put it on the floor at the moment. And what I said before was I'm going to spin this around. See any dust? Oh dear. Spin the board around. So I've got a really, really, really nice edge there. Pick the parallel guides up with the track on it. And now I'm going to drop the bumpers down, push her up. There we go. I'm going to do a quick check on dimensions when I find my glasses. .555 is there. 555 is there. Beautiful. Lovely. The reason I moved this was I had set it 550 earlier. I'm going to come over for a quick read before I do the next cut. Where are we up to? I saw a TSO knockoff on Guthrie looked to be made of some sort of plastic. Means that I would grab and appreciate the thought. Morning all. Wayne, g'day Nathan, into the corner. Okay, PPE Dave. Yes, well I can throw on the, I'll throw the earmuffs on in a second. Ron Polk's viewers have created an amazing parallel tool for the track. Are you using the melamine blade in the saw? No, just the fine tooth blade. It's fantastic. Using this system just really does help. That plywood floor is really taking on the lovely colour with age. What is the finish for the plywood floor? The floor or thanks Wayne. The floor I used Cabot's Clear Floor, which is a water-based flooring finish. The track, John, is 2.7. The reason I got a 2.7 is it will work a full 2.4 sheet, 8-foot sheet, easily. The 3 metre gives you a little bit more leeway, and if you want to use a 2.7 metre sheet, I never use a 9-foot sheet. I always use 8 feet. Also, that track will fit in my little Hyundai, believe it or not, my little i20. It fits on the dashboard and just inside. If I had a 3 metre, I'd be knocking the back window out on the hatch. Okay. Have we got any more people watching, or is it? Give me some numbers. I'm curious because I'm not checking all that stuff as I'm going. All right, here we go. PPEE, my eye muffs. And people have asked me, do they fit over glasses? Yes, they do. Let's see, we're still connected. Yep, we are. I'm going to do the reverse cut again, remember? Back up to 2. And then I'm going to push this guy down, which I should have done before. Off. See, the difference in the dust is huge. That little thing is magic. Let's go 20. That'll be fine. Put it on the track again. Drop that. Come back to there and in. You know why I didn't go all the way through? Because I set it to 20, not on the Führerschein, on the other one. Idiot. Down to 20, there we go. Go again. That's got it. Beautiful. Done. So it's one of those systems you really do need to keep your wits about you doing that. Or it can end up being ugly. I'm going to show you. This is my cut, and you can see the edge on my cut. This is from the factory, and you can see their edge. You see those? Goes right the way along. So that's why I do it. It gives me a beautiful finish. Absolutely gorgeous. Now, the next thing to do is to cut the end. Give me a second, have a quick look. 129. Wow, that's a lot of people. The reverse cut is a great tip, thanks. Not a problem. Dave checking in from Indianapolis. Why did Dave just run the saw backwards? I just joined in. It's a scribing cut that's 2 millimeters deep. Matt, agreed, Dave, me either. Okay. Yes, okay, thanks, Dave. No. Queen's birthday weekend. Nathan, closed tomorrow. Bit more of a drink. Now, after all of that, we've done that cut there. How exciting. Now we're going to cut the base and the top. They're 568. Not going to take me long. Let's just whip into it. Now, I can measure, or I can do the other way. Yeah, let's do the other way. Here's something you may not be aware of. I'm just down on the floor here taking these out for a second. I'm going to use the GRS 16 as a square, and it does a really good job. But I'm also going to put this onto the GRS 16, and I think it'll go that way. Where are we? There, and there. Did you know you can do this? And I've got my cursor there. And I think, come on, in you go. There. I'm going to check it. But my cursor down here is now going to be allowing me to do repetitive cuts. So we want 568. Just track that down to put the other glasses on, because precision work here. 568. I'm going to put a tape on there. I'm hoping it's going to work. 568 perfectly. Perfect, perfect, perfect. So now I have the stop here, and I can lift it up out of the way or pop it down. I can't leave 90 degrees MFT. I have TSO, GRS16, please help in some next direct. Okay. Well, okay, the Stanton the combo PPE is off. Need to find those. I'm going to switch the glasses so I can get back over here. Now the first cut I'm going to do is going to be just to square the end. Now the other good thing about these parallel guides is they sit on top. They're not going to drop. I love it. Absolutely love it. So I'm going to do a square cut to start. I'll do my scribe, then go back, and then I'm going to spin the sheet around and work from the left to the right. There's a reason. Alrighty. 2 millimeters on the FSS. Do my reverse cut. Down to 20. And do my forward cut. Done. Spin the sheet around. And I didn't drop that little side guard, did I? I'm an idiot. I keep forgetting that. Working on the door. Now I don't have to measure. Just going to go straight on, drop the flip stop to the right point. There we go. That's easy. Take it back to 2 millimeters. Drop it on, drop that little guy down again. Reverse cut. Forward cut. That was neater. Okay, that's my first piece. I'll bring it over. We can have a quick look, see the quality of the cut. That's pretty neat. Top and bottom. Very nice. Let's measure. Moment of truth. I've got 568 by 555. I bet you are out there thinking, no, he hasn't. He's not going to show us. Well, he will. He was just checking first. What do we got? Come on, out you come. Oh, this could be embarrassing. No, it's not. There we go. Hook it over there. And there you go. And the other direction. You want to see square? All right. We'll go for square. Diagonals. I've got 7, 9, 4. Let's see if I can show you. See, this This is going to be hard to show you. I'll measure from the... I'm fighting with melamine. I'll measure from there back to there. Oh, I don't know if I'm going to be able to show you. Should be able to. Roll it over. Okay, I'm going to move it past ever so slowly. And then rotate it one. So you've watched me do it. I haven't tried to con you. And 794. It's square. I've done this over a sheet 2.4 using the 2.7 metre track, across a 1.4 across the end using the GRS 16, and then across the other end, I'm back, measured the diagonals, and it was spot on. It's brilliant. Okay, so that's my first one. We're just about done for time. I am going to do this last little thing that I told you I do, because otherwise we end up confused and don't know where the hell we're at while we're assembling. We'll get next week. I'll finish cutting these off today, but next week we'll do the edge tape. Here we go. All right, this one is 555 by 568. And it is top. And when I've cut it, I put a line through it. So that's how my sheet works at the end. See that actual piece? I put a line through the top one. It means it's done. And then this part here has got a label on it too now as well. Most of the time I'll use a black felt tape. Done. So I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you so much to the generosity for people throwing money at me. Thank you very much. All right, so there we go. That's the end of it. These particular things are called eye muffs. They're an Australian invention. And George is down in Canberra. He gets these manufactured, and he's a wall and floor tiler. So he had these made for while he was doing stuff, while he was in the trade. He's still in the trade, does a magic job. Okay, I think that's it. Show's over. All of my patrons, you can join me for a Zoom meeting in a couple of minutes. I just need a couple of seconds break. Got to hook up the sound and all that kind of stuff so that it's working properly. John Kane, you missed Barry, do you? Well, I'll tell you something. Vicky is in the process of buying another pug. So we'll see how that goes. She's determined. She misses all the dogs big time. And so, we may have another pug that might join in on the show here now and then. So thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to click the thumbs up, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I've got a really, really nice video coming out on Friday. It's taken me a long time to do it. It's a major build. It covers a whole heap of stuff. Hardly any timber work, but it covers masonry, mostly masonry. It's really, I'm impressed with it. I've impressed myself. There you go. Where are we? Thanks to the patrons. And then, as I say, come back to me here. And to their intro and text, look after yourselves, be nice to each other. And I'll probably try and get to see you during the week on Wednesday morning at 9 a.m. If I don't get there, it'll be Sunday, the same time as what we're here now. See you later. Bye.